This is for you, Devion. This in no way is going to be easy. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. Better call Paul? Is that what that sign says right there? It says better call Paul? That's funny. Okay, shady business. There's going to be so many things. I'm not going to be able to catch everything. It's probably going to be a million stops. So if you just want to hear the song, just click the link in the description. But I mean, there's so much. Eminem just laces everything he does. I think that's why I avoided this for so long. My head's gonna explode. Eminem tone deaf.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Huh? What did you say? Oh, I can't hear you. I have an ear infection and I can't finger it out. Yeah, it's my alter ego's fault. These evil thoughts could be so dark. Cerebral palsy, 3 so lost. I eat those.
First of all, he says these evil thoughts can be so dark, cerebral. So he's already pointing to the thoughts come from his brain, cerebral. Which he is. He is so beyond cerebral. I bet you he thinks in rap. I just can't even get over it. I just can't. My gosh. And did you see all the... Look at everything in the background. I mean, whoever did this animation is a genius. You've got the reflection. This little thing hanging was already... It turned into an E and then just started doing some other stuff. You could see the police officer in the reflection. And then the billboard in the back said, music to be murdered by, side B.
I have an ear infection.
And then, of course, this is an old, everybody in the medical field should, at one time or another, have heard this. It's just a play on words. An ear infection, instead of saying ear infection, he said ear and I can't. He just kind of... we all know what he did. So anyway, yeah, from an A to a U, instead of figure, he put finger. I mean, geez, man. It's just, and then he's wearing Dr. Dre Beats headphones. It's just ludicrous, man. Okay, let's go.
It's my alter ego's fault. These evil thoughts could be so dark. Cerebral palsy, 3 so lost. I eat those off to Rico Suave. Look it up.
Okay, so cerebral palsy, I'm not sure exactly what medication you take for that, but I know Zoloft is a medication. Zoloft is usually something you take for depression, and it can make you sleepy. And he says, eat, doze off. Rico Suave was a dancer, and that's the exact opposite of who Marshall Mathers is. I mean, Rico Suave, super 90s, and that was like all the rage back then when he came out. Look at this, Slim Shady, and he put Ronnie here. Ronnie, rest in peace. Wow, okay.
With a ladder rack in the back with a crack.
Music to be murdered by side B. Good gravy. Hold on, I gotta see this whole entire. And then doze off. Isn't doze off another, like, I think you can just buy that over the counter though.
I eat those off to Rico Suave. Look it up. Cadillac with a ladder rack in the back with
313 is Detroit, or where he's from. And then it says music to be murdered by, and then this usually is the medical staff, Caduceus, right? But it looks like it's just a pencil, and then it's like shady. Of course, you guys know more than I do. Like I said, always put it in the comments what you guys have. Ugh, looks like he's just going to war over here. Alright, let's go. And then even the lettering. What is this? Is this a new music to be murdered by lettering now? It's crazy.
With a cracked axle, a backpack full of packs on a black.
black backpack full of Paxil. You know how hard that was for me just to say that? And he just spits it out like it's nothing. Paxil, once again, something else for like anxiety and, you know, just something to kind of even make you even keel.
Black satchel, a knapsack, and a flask full of yak and Jack Daniels. Girl, let's go back to my castle. I don't wanna hassle you, Alexandra, but my dick's an acronym, cause it stands for you.
Well, an acronym, as we know, is like an abbreviation. Like, for instance, for Liliac, I didn't know all the kids' names in the band. So then I would think of an acronym. Like, for instance, there's Melody, there's Ethan, there's Samuel, Abigail, and then Justin. So, Message, that's how I remember their names. So that's an acronym. Music to be Murdered By, another acronym, which would have been easier to say or to tell you guys. So it stands for you. So another thing, stands, it means you, basically. And I don't know who Alexandra is. And, you know, we all know.
It's an acronym cause it stands for you. Wait, Alexandra, who? All I know is Friday I met you. Saturday I'll probably forget you. Guess that's what the Molly and X do.
That's what the Molly and X do. Maybe, yeah. If usually people do take medications and, this kind of stuff to kind of forget what they're doing or forget stuff that they want to forget.
Dude, that's who the fucking Molly and next to. But ever since D Nice to the rescue, feel a fresh crew. Been a lab rat from a test tube. I'm going in like the red roof. Red roof in. You don't like it either.
Come on, he just spelled that out for us. Don't need it.
Cock to your jaw breaks, call it caught me between a rock and a hard place, like a Sasquatch in a crawl space, cause you're watching your heart race like your Scarface in a car chase, but the cops are in arcade, stuck inside of a Mario Kart race, stuck in.
I mean, that's just, he's just spitting all that out, like, that's just amazing. I don't know how, it all makes sense, you know? What is it called, stacking? I'm not sure. We've got it all. Bears. I mean, this is amazing artwork. And if you notice, we were facing this way. We were facing this direction because I remember we could see this straight on. Liquor, beer, wine. And I think there's a gas station over here. That's crazy. Anyway. And he's still wearing these headphones, and you know it's illegal in California to wear headphones while you're driving in a car. You just can't. You have to be able to hear traffic.
The cops are in arcade, stuck inside of a Mario Kart race, stuck in saw blades at a stop and a start pace. What I'm trying to say is I'm driving them all crazy. I can't.
Driving them all crazy. He didn't say driving them all crazy. Is he driving them to the mall?
At a stop and a start pace, what I'm trying to say is I'm driving them all crazy. I can't.
Mario Kart race. You never know. That could have been like a little tell for the Mario Kart. You never know. Because at Mario Kart, you never know where you're going with that thing, right?
Understand a word you say. I'm tone deaf. I think this way I prefer to stay. I'm tone deaf. I won't stop even when my hair turns gray. I'm tone deaf. They won't stop until they get to me. I see the rap game, then attack the verses. Turn it to a graveyard packed with hearses. Just like.
Okay, now it's gonna get psycho. Wow. Okay, so he says, I see the rap game and I attack the verses. And then he rhymed it with hearses. My gosh, look at this. There's a hand already out here. This is beautiful.
When my hair turns gray. I'm tuned cause they won't stop until they get to me. I see the rap game, then attack the verses. Turn it to a graveyard packed with hearses. Just like your funeral, I'm at your service. Pockets on stuff like a taxidermist.
And that was a double. Just like a funeral, I'm at your service. He's like, I'm here for you, but at the same time, when you go to a funeral, you attend the service. That's what you would call a funeral. Train Squad, pockets on stuff like a taxidermist. So he's got lots of cash. So that's what he's basically telling everybody. And a taxidermist is somebody who would stuff, something very close to you, a pet, an animal that you maybe went hunting for, and it costs a lot of money, and they stuff it. I don't know with what, but something I imagine that can't rot or whatever. But he's talking about his pockets are stuffed like with lots of cash. I mean, that was just so quick. I've only made it through 1 minute and 39 seconds.
Pockets on stuff like a taxidermist. Just landed in Los Angeles when this chick Angela and her grandmother in a tan-colored van pull up with a handful of Zans and a substantial amount of ganja.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so he pulled up. Well, he's in Los Angeles, and then he went ahead and said her name is Angela, and her grandma. So it's like all these and a, and then he said she pulled up with a handful of Zans, as in Xanax, and a substantial amount of Zans and ganja, like basically weed. I mean, he always finds a way to keep it interesting. Like I said, you guys, if you want to just hear the song, just click on the link. But when Devion asked for this, he did not have a clue as to what he asked for. I've been a fan for a long time, so let's go.
And for the Zans and a substantial amount of ganja, just to ask what my plans for the night are. I said sneak into the sleep in for the weekend and pretend it's a 5-star. Yeah.
That is right. Better Call Paul. So it's like almost like they're going in a circle. Love, freedom. I like how they put the Libra scales. And he is a Libra. He's about balance. He's born the 17th. I'm born the 7th, October. COVID. Bad. Seeds. What your plans are for the weekend. He just wants to sleep in. Everything just kind of has that flow, Let's go.
Weekend and pretend it's a 5-star. Yeah, a leap into the deep end of the pool. I can show you where the dives are.
That little play on words. You know what he's really saying. What are your plans for the weekend? And dive on the deep end of a pool. And always sneaks in little stuff. We already know what's coming up. This is not the first time I've heard Tone Deaf. I've heard it before when he first released Music to Be Murdered By. I mean, I'm not crazy.
The pool, I can show you where the dives are. We don't even gotta drive far. I know this spot, but it's so live. But I'm trying to get some head first, like a nosedive. So many side chicks can't decide which to slide with and which should I ditch. So when it comes to ass, bitch, I get behind like the Heimlich.
There it is. He has so much to choose from. And he's just basically letting everybody know. He's just making it real simple. I can't even imagine how simple this must have been for him to write. Yep, there was the gas station. Okay. Ritter Donut Shop. Let's go.
Gotta drive far. I know this spot, but it's so live. But I'm trying to get some head first, like a nosedive. So many side chicks can't decide which to slide with and which should I ditch. So when it comes to ass, bitch, I get behind like the Heimlich.
Because you basically have to get behind a person to do the Heimlich maneuver, which they don't even allow us to call it that anymore.
had one chick who liked to flip sometimes on some switch inside shit. Pushed her out the sidekick, then I flipped the little white bitch off like a light switch. It's okay not to like my shit. Everything's fine, drink your wine, bitch, and get offline with whining. This is just a rhyme, bitch. But ask me, will I stick to my guns like adhesive tape? Does Bill Cosby sedate once he treats?
Yikes. So basically he's having a conversation with some B word, and she's basically saying, are you going to stick to your plans, or are you going to stick to your guns? And he's saying, yeah, like adhesive tape. And he's saying, just, don't worry about what I'm doing, stick to your wine and quit whining. I mean, he paints a really vivid description of everything, every little thing, he went from the airport to getting a ride to, we see he's digging a hole somewhere. It's like he had all these plans. He's at a strip club. Now we look at the trunk, and now there's a police officer. Everything says shady. There's all kinds of CDs everywhere, pills. And now he's going to talk about Bill Cosby.
Like adhesive tape. Does Bill Cosby sedate once he treats the cheesecake in a decent state? You think getting rid of me's a piece of cake? I'm harder than finding Harvey Weinstein to date. And that's why they say I got more lines than Black Friday.
That's self-explanatory. It's almost like a joke. Aegis, you okay? Sorry about that. I had to make sure my little boy is okay. So more lines than Black Friday. Black Friday is where, all the Americans go out usually the day after Thanksgiving and get in line around the block to get all the best deals for, shopping. That way you have a great Christmas. So, okay, let's go back just a little bit. And then he's talking about Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein, two predators that preyed on young women in the, entertainment industry, and kind of date raped them or drug them. And I don't know if I'm supposed to say allegedly or not, but I think they were convicted of that. So he's saying, yeah, it's harder than trying to find Harvey Weinstein a date. I mean, nobody wants to date that guy. It's no way.
Say I got more lines than Black Friday, so save that shit for the damn library. You heard of Chris Christopherson? Yeah. Well, I'm pissed officin'. Paul's asking for Christmas off again. I said no, then I spit this song for him. It goes, I can't understand a word you say. I'm tone deaf. I think this way.
Oh, I think that's hilarious, because I could imagine him doing that. You know how funny that is? Top 5 evidence against Marshall Mathers. I don't know what that says. Marshall. It's gotta be his middle name. And it just shows all this evidence. Last seen. Marshall Bruce Mathers. Duh, it took me a second. That's his middle name, of course. Top 5. I think I'm gonna sing this song for my kids when they're being rowdy.
You say I'm tone deaf. I think this way I prefer to stay. I'm tone deaf. I won't stop even when my
Backlash. Music to be Murdered by. 11th studio album was released. You'd think that after nearly a quarter of a century, Eminem might have had his fill of controversy. No, not ever. Because people don't stop talking about him, so he's not going to stop talking about you. Look at all these tapes. Look at all these cassette tapes over here. Not ever. If you guys stop talking about him, he might leave you alone.
Even when my hair turns gray, I'm tone deaf. They won't stop until they cancel me. Bitch, I can make orange rhyme with banana. Or nana. Eating pork rind, sword fighting in pajamas. At the crib playing Fortnite with your grandma. But I'm more like a 4 or 5 with the grammar. About to show you why your 5 favorite rappers can't touch this. But before I get the hammer.
I love that. Can't touch this. And we all know that's MC Hammer's song. Can't touch this. Da-na-na-na. And then he says hammer, right? He's a 4-5 with the grammar.
5 with the grammar. About to show you why your 5 favorite rappers can't touch this. But before I get the hammer, I should warn you I'm Thor-like.
And then he's showing you about your rappers and what he thinks of them, and he's putting them in the toilet. He doesn't have to say anything. It's just there. He's Thor-like in
this
this
manner. But the day I lose sleep over you critiquing me, I ever let you cocksuckers eat at me, I need to.
He's saying, I'm never going to let whatever you critics are saying about him bother him. He's just not. He just doesn't care anymore. Everybody's just making him more famous. The more we talk about him, the more people say anything about him, the more relevant he is. So he's like, whatever. He does not care.
Ever let you cocksuckers eat at me, I need to be a motherfucking pizzeria. But you ain't getting no cheese from me. I went from Little Caesars, real teases, grilled cheeses, being dirt poor to filthy rich, but still me, bitch, like a realtor, that's real tea, bitch.
Get it? A realtor, that's realty. So much property, you know, he went from dirt poor to having so much money and having so much property and owning big houses, you know. And he rhymed that with cheese, and cheese is another word for money, and he said Little Caesars to BLTs and grilled cheeses, and then meanwhile he's showing you all of his albums. Amazing. Beautiful. And he's just sitting there just writing in his notepad all his lyrics, and that's really what his pages look like. He doesn't ever, if he ever loses his pages of all his raps and rhymes and schemes or whatever, nobody could read them, because he does it a certain way to where only he knows how to read them. So, you know, somebody decides to get crazy and steal his stuff, they can't make a song or a track or anything. Only he could do it. You can see, look at MTV Spaceman back here. All these other things up here. It's nice. Wow. Grammy.
For me, I went from Little Caesars, real teases, grilled cheeses, being dirt poor to filthy rich, but still me, bitch, like a realtor, that's real tea, bitch. Aftermath, bitch, whole camp's lit. We put out fire, Dre stamps it.
The whole camp's lit, meaning everybody he works with. Aftermath, everybody, you know, Dr. Dre, Snoop, you know, there's nothing but love, and that says right there, Dre stamps it. Camp, whole camp and stamp. I don't know how he does it so well. And then real tea, and basically so that was like what, a triple, quadruple entendre. I mean, like real talk. Exactly. He spells it out. I mean, he knows, like, it's difficult if you don't live this kind of stuff, if you're not an MC or a rapper yourself, this kind of stuff would just fly over your head. I mean, most of the time I'm just enjoying the music. There's just no way to catch everything, especially not with Eminem. Especially not. You can listen to it a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and you'll still be catching stuff. You're like, was this new? Because you're like, I could have sworn. It's just the way it works. Real tea, real talk, realtor, jeez.
Aftermath, bitch, whole camp's lit. We put out fire, Dre stamps it. With my cohorts, hit a Bogart. Yeah, got your whole squad yelling, oh God, here comes Marshall.
With my cohorts, we had a Bogart, meaning we don't let anybody in. When you Bogart your cigarette or cigar, back in the day, and Jerry taught me that, it means you don't share. Bogart. And he rhymed that with cohort, which is his cohorts are his counterparts, the people he works with. And, you know, this kind of language, this kind of English that he's using, this grammar, this, I'm missing the word, the vocabulary that he's using, it takes experience, and not just memorizing the dictionary, but it takes living and having lived, you know, a couple decades to have this kind of knowledge. I mean, he's just not just any old rapper that just showed up 5 days ago. I mean, this is Eminem, man. This is why he has the respect that he has. It's fun for him, but at the same time, it's just like, who would think of that? Cohort, Bogart, I mean, come on.
With no holds barred, bitch, I'm a hurricane. You're a blowhard, like your old broad. She full of semen, like the coast.
Right there. I mean, it's an old joke, but it's still there. Blow hard, like somebody who's just, full of themselves. And then he went ahead and coupled that with, like your wife, she's full of semen, like the Coast Guard, but also like what a hoe would be full of, right? I'm a hurricane. So Eminem's a hurricane.
You're a blowhard.
You're a blowhard.
Like your old broad. She full of semen.
Like the Coast Guard.
Like the Coast Guard. And life's been pretty good to me so far. For the most part. Had a couple of run-ins with Popo. Caught a couple of assault charges. Got a few priors like crowbars. Which is so odd because I'm 48 now.
Hold on, man. And you see that priors? Isn't prior like to... isn't that a type of crowbar in itself? But he rhymed that with like a type of what you would be arrested for, or what you would have charges brought up against you for. Is that crazy? Just out of nowhere. I don't know how you cannot be a fan. That's why I keep saying people who are into lyrical rap or just rap, who like to see the underdog. He was an underdog for all of his life, and you cheer for him because he made it. And a lot of people are like, well, I'm not that good anymore. I used to be about the people, this and this and that. Man, he doesn't have to be about anything. That's what you want him to be about. He's still everyone's number one favorite. Some people know. Some people have other... And that's fine. But you can't tell everybody, well, this is the new favorite. Not for stans. Not at all. They're going to always cheer for Eminem. They'll cheer for other people, but they're always going to go back to their... Eminem is their favorite. They're always going to go back to him. So anyway, let's go.
Had a couple of run-ins with Popo, caught a couple of assault charges. Got a few priors like crowbars, which is so odd because I'm 48 now. That 5-0 starting to creep up on me like a patrol car.
So he just made that a little story. The 5-0. Like as in he's going to be 50 years old, but that's also what you call the police. The 5-0. The Popo. That's just great.
On me like a patrol car. I'll be an old fart, but you don't want no part, so bitch don't start. Simmer down, compose yourself, Mozart. I ain't with nowhere, call me coleslaw, cause I'm out for the cabbage and I'm so raw.
And what is coleslaw? Coleslaw is just raw cabbage that you chop up. But he's also raw, meaning that he's just off the cuff. He just does what he needs to do and says what he needs to say, and no filter. And cabbage is also another double entendre for money, for cash.
And if time is money, you have no clocks. And any folk caught within close proximity.
So if time is money, you have no clocks, meaning you have zero. You have no money, nothing. Your funeral, 8 Mile Road West. I love it. I think we just went in circles.
Proximity's getting cold cocked. My enemies, I'm a chimney. Give me the smoke ops. And R.I.P. the king. Run, and it don't stop. And I know not what the fuck you say. I told y'all it ain't me. It's my alter ego's fault. But if y'all wanna cancel me, no problem. I'll tell you the same thing I told Paul. I can't understand a word you say. I'm tone deaf. I think this way I prefer to stay. I'm tone deaf. I won't stop even when my hair turns gray. I'm tone deaf. They won't stop until they can't. I'm tone deaf.
Randy Criz, Rocky. Now he's leaving. So he went in a complete circle, and now he's going. Okay, I don't even know how long I've been on here, but when you ask for Eminem, it's not gonna be short. Not never. Not never ever. It's like trying to explain art. How can you do that? It it would take thousands of words to do that, and yeah, this was really cool. Really cool. And coincidentally, this was my favorite track on Music to Be Murdered By, because you hear the haters all day long. They don't stop. You hear friends, family, always complaining, and this was the perfect anthem for that. Tone deaf. Okay, guys, we'll see what's next. Bye. I guess I have to shout out Devion one more time. That was for you, Devion.